What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the next installment of the rebuild series. We're back benching. So now that I can bench and do upper body, I'm going to try to do it as much as I can. Honestly though, I'm just trying to build back up and get back to where I was so I can have a full, well-rounded training. But we gotta put in the work, just like we did in the beginning, to build all that muscle, build that base. We're back here again, and we're just going to keep working. Now, you're going to see this bench go up, you're going to see me get used to things. You're going to see technique improve, and you're going to see, just somebody who likes to do what they're doing, get back to where they want to be, so I can keep breaking more PRs and we can turn that ER to PR series into reality. But it's going to take some time. Enjoy the ride while we do it. The journey is always the best spot there. Back here on bench, really trying to control the negative down. There is a point I was feeling some tension in the shoulder, especially with this wider grip bench. And so the pauses help kind of mitigate that and allow you to, focus on that and then focus on the press. Obviously, that elbow is going to be a little unstable, and I'm starting to feel it in the wrist and forearm too. So as I get heavier, I might start reintroducing the wrist wraps just to be able to get through. But until then, I'm just going to keep benching, control the weight as much as I can. And then just do that strength threshold, the 5 reps. Just try to go up every time that I can, every time in the gym. 15 to 20 pounds every session until once I get into that 200 pound range, I'll start reevaluating. But I want to start getting in, to a red and a yellow and start putting some actual weight up. So just various angles here. And you're going to notice a little bit of a dip when I bench, and that's always been a issue of mine. But you can see bar path is relatively straight. And you can kind of see in the mirror reflection too, nice and controlled. But in the moment, it felt a little iffy and funny. And I'm just really showing you different angles of where I'm touching. And there is, I should go a little bit wider. With the longer arms, definitely helps on deadlifts. But when it comes to bench, it's weird. It's almost like the bar sinks in to a certain point. So you really have to just kind of balance that out going from there. But just various angles to kind of show you where I'm touching. It's usually right below like the nipple line and the sternum. I find that that's a nice spot. If I go any further down, too much shoulder, a little uncomfortable, not really much, activation on the chest. So going from there to OHP, and I'm a big proponent that if you're benching, you should be overhead pressing or doing some sort of pressing overhead to balance out. And, this is getting a little bit easier here. I'm not touching the clavicle anymore. I just don't feel like that's necessary for the range of motion. I'm just going like slightly below the chin. And I'm finding that that's more comfortable. It doesn't hurt. And I have a little bit more power. I was noticing a sticking point when I would press off the chest. And it was just, necessary to overcome. So this allows me to maintain constant tension on the shoulders. We can always reevaluate going back, after we've rehabbed this enough. But the goal is to just put more weight on the bar and to get to where I'm at. So we're taking it step by step. And we're making sure that we're doing this correctly. Any sort of discomfort, I'm going to come back, take my time, and that's the main goal. So a little bit of a unbalance here as I'm, dealing with the range of motion, and that tourniquet bandage kind of thing is like right around the elbow joint. So sometimes it will create a little bit of resistance and tension, but we're okay. Dumbbell incline press starting to feel better. I'm just slowing it down and really trying to find a spot on my chest where I'm liking that contraction, and just trying to stay real tight. Manage not only the upper body, but the lower to make sure I'm not driving myself too far off the bench, and then just maintaining constant tension. And the dismount too, make sure I'm not putting any extra stress on the shoulder there. And doing, like you said, or like I said, I don't know about you, but flat and incline are included, and I'll just vary them up just to get some variety. So it's kind of I've always done it. I love dumbbell benching. It's always cool and fun. Feels so much better than the straight barbell bench. It's just easier to kind of contort yourself into the position. And then dumbbell shoulder press, just again, similar reasons, just to get a little bit more range of motion, a little bit more flexibility. And my forearms are so long, it's hard to find ideal. You could see me slow down there on the dismount with the dumbbell. I'm not trying to cause any harm or anything to my forearm or shoulder, so I'm taking it easy. Not trying to go up in weight too much, just really tempering my expectations, and I go up when I can and I stay when I need to. So lateral raises here, just overall trying to hit the shoulder, everything from a lot of different angles just to balance everything out. And you know, I've never really liked dumbbell lateral raises. I've got really dainty wrists, so holding heavier dumbbells is always a bit of a struggle. And, you know, that's really just the nature of the thing. I actually prefer the cables, but it's sometimes hard to get into position, but I think it's still important to work that entire shoulder girdle, even if it's lightweight, you know, to get some nice range of motion and tension in there. So if you're going to do any sort of pressing, do the lateral delts, do the rear delts, do all of them. Round them all out. You'll get nice round shoulders that way. And, you know, balance. Balance is everywhere. I included way too many angles of the lateral raises here, but I was trying to experiment in the gym with what angle I wanted, and I guess I decided on all of them. I just call it filler content for the video and everything. Moving on to lower body here. You know, we're doing our Hatfields squats, and you're going to notice a ghost can in there. I've got an upcoming video where I'm doing a in the gym energy drink review number 2. I did Ghost Welch's grape, and now I'm doing the orange cream from Ghost. So be on the lookout for that. That's where all these clips are kind of from. So, but I'm going to focus on different content in both, obviously, because that one's about the energy drink, and this is about training. But I'm really enjoying these Hatfield squats. It's finally getting to a point where they're starting to feel good. It's taken me a lot longer than I thought to get acquainted with this lift, but I'm starting to really push some heavier weights on it, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's fun. It's fun to feel that weight, and then just some variety from doing the same old. You know, very reminiscent of the belt squat, but with a little bit more support and with the spinal loading. So it's teaching me to stay tight in the core and to really control the tempo of me descending into the hole and just kind of going from there. So it's been a good time. When I first started doing it, I expected a lot more from myself, but you really have to earn your stripes. So ultimately, you know, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get to that point and add weight when I can and stay when I need to. So squats on squats on squats, working up here, trying to find comfortable, you know, positions for not only the bar, but my hand as well. And so this has even taken me some time to just find the balance with the actual SSB on the back. And that took couple different training sessions. I'm exhausted as I'm filming this video, by the way. But we're going to roll with it. Because this is real training and we're not faking anything. What you're seeing is what happened. So working up here to 328. I think that's the first time in a while I've actually read off the actual weights on the video. Usually I'm just kind of talking as they flip through, and I know mentally what they are, but, you know, for anybody else who doesn't really work out with kilos, I think this is more like 351, but I didn't feel like doing the conversion and then changing the numbers. So we're going to just round it off to 350, which I think is pretty solid for where I am now with where I started. And there's definitely more in the tank. So really just working on the stability here, and you can see me kind of take my time and just try to maintain that upper body tightness, making sure I'm not sinking into the hole without any control. And it does feel heavy. When I do unrack it, I am feeling like almost every bit of that weight. And then once I grip the sides, I feel nice and, you know, stable and solid. And when I start getting to a point where I can go heavy and heavy, I might start just doing a lot of different rep work, constant tension, stuff like that. But I needed a squat variation that's going to allow me to kind of feel the weight of a heavier weight. So instead of doing just like heavy unracks where you just hold there, you can actually go through the entire motion of a squat, you know, with higher weights to kind of go from there. So I think that's cool. And yeah, you can see here from this angle, just really, I usually grip the handles first before descending, and then I just try to sit back. And again, not the most stimulating movement in the world, but we're hitting depth. Feels good. Feels good to go all the way down. I feel like I can lower myself a little bit more than I normally do, just because I've got the support. I don't feel like I'm pitching forward and I'm going to lose the weight or anything like that. So here we go. You can kind of see my setup here. Walk it out like you normally would a squat. Grip both sides, and then sit back, and then break at the knee. Come back up. You know, it's good to have that mirror in front. you can really see not only depth from the front, but it's a good idea to keep that your focus, your vision on going forward, so you don't dump the bar. Some people don't recommend, the mirror for squatting, but sometimes it can do you a good benefit here. And then still continuing with the belt squat here, really trying to figure out, the range of motion on here. I don't know what it is. Every time I feel like I'm sinking into the hole, it feels weird the way that the weight's connected. Like, it's really hard to go ATG on here. With like a regular squat, with the spinal loading, it kind of just sits you into position. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to do these belt squats. I tried them with the squat shoes that I had on with that 3/4 inch elevated heel. And I don't know, I feel like it caused a little bit more, not knee pain, but a range of motion in the knee and quad I haven't experienced before, which I'm not sure is such a good thing. So I don't know. It's a little bit difficult to figure out exactly what I want to do and what I need to do. But you can see here my form, I'm kind of like sitting back and then letting the knees travel far forward. And, with these shoes, I can't go as much, but I don't know. I feel the tension in here. I'm feeling the pump in the legs, and it's okay with me. So I'm just going to keep grinding with it and slowly increase range of motion. The weight doesn't ever feel heavy, really. I think it's just, with the machine and where the hook is, there's like a weird curve. It's not like a straight up and down motion. It kind of curves upwards. So I don't know what that resistance curve looks like. I'm not a physics nerd, but I don't know. Honestly, the belt's pretty comfortable. It's like a Rogue One, and it just kind of sits there on the waist. So I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go too crazy over it and try to figure it out. I'm just gonna do the movement and add weights. Sometimes we overcomplicate stuff, and you really just have to stick to it and do it until you can find out what works for you. Best example being the Hatfield squat, which finally is starting to click right now. My body's feeling accustomed to it, and now I can really run with it and see what happens. So it is what it is. And leg press here, the usual. I'm hoping it really carries over and just really helps balance out this unilateral training. I'm liking doing the one leg at a time. Everyone's got a stronger side and it will usually compensate. So when you isolate one side, you can really feel the imbalance. You can see the faces I'm making. My right side is probably, it feels the weakest side to me, but it's got the best mobility. My left side is more rigid and stiff. So the weight honestly feels lighter when I'm doing it. Very strange to experience, and it's very hard to kind of describe that to people. So I figure if I just keep doing it, unilateral and then bilateral day, it will eventually all balance out. Get as close to you can, with some sort of uniformity. And honestly, it just kind of it gives you some more variety to do what you're going to do. The stuff like leg day here is not very interesting. We don't have a lot of machines and accessories. You really just have to keep doing the same stuff over and over again, which is not bad because you can really get some serious progressive resistance in through all of it and, be consistent. So, but sometimes that growth does come from different movements. We're all built different, so you may find different movements that feel better for you. And I don't know. I'm looking around at other different gyms right now and trying to see if there's a move I want to make. It's hard to find a good balanced gym in a lot of these places. It's just, I don't know. Everyone's trying to do different stuff. It's either too much powerlifting, too much bodybuilding, and it's hard to find one that's like right down the middle. It just has right enough. And honestly, commercial gyms would be perfect if they had, lesser clientele volume and then, calibrated plates, but then you get a whole mess of all these people coming in here. So it's an interesting time. You really just have to decide, what your goals are. And I'm used to training in environments where a lot of the stuff I do is unconventional. You just make it work. So I'm totally cool with that. I don't really mind it. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. And, that's all we can do. I'm honestly running out of stuff to talk on this video. I forgot how many accessory sets I put in here. When I'm editing, I was just kind of throwing stuff together. And there's not a clear message in this video besides, oh, look, here's me doing calf raises. But I hate calf raises. I'm trying to extend the time that I do them. I don't know. They're not fun to do. Just a nuisance at the end of the workout. But I've got long lower legs, long forearms, so I'm cursed with having to do them. And then here's the tibialis extension, which I just do for balance. I am doing progressive resistance in all these. It's just the progressive resistance is my mental fortitude to keep doing them and stay interested. So that's the leg workout here. Like I said, stay tuned for the energy drink review. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff. And you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.